Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Thursday, November 27th, 2025. This is Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. Yes, recording on a Thanksgiving Day. We have first quarter moon out there, so if you're taking a walk after eating your turkey, it's going to be beautiful looking, really nice high in the southern sky, then into the southwest as the evening goes on. For sunspots, these are pretty quiet. Lots of things have been exploding on the backside of the sun. So it could be interesting in a week as that comes around. Sunrise all the way back to 7 o'clock a.m., sunset 4:36 p.m. And we've lost 10 minutes of light. It's very noticeable, getting very dark in the evening early. Looking at drought conditions, things are a little worse in the northwest third or so of the state, just a touch. Things have been dry. Looking nationwide, the west has gotten some relief and nothing else has really changed much nationwide. We had like a century-long drought predicted for California a few years back, and the drought's pretty much entirely gone. There was our October drought future forecast. Here's our November, and the date hasn't come out for December. Maybe they wait till the actual 1st. So maybe it'll definitely show up next week. For smoke, we don't have anything, a little something burning in northern Mexico, but that's it. Looking at the snowpack is really low. It's down at the minimum ever seen, I guess. That's really way down there. 36% of what is expected for liquid water. It's a little better. We're at 90% of what we would like to see, and a lot of that came out of stuff to our south and east this last week. I don't know if I even saw the sprinkles that occurred up along I-25, but pretty dry back up here. Looking at where convection is happening, no severe weather, Florida and Georgia a little bit, Florida, and then on Friday with the front pushing down, they have some convection possible in Texas, Oklahoma area. So we have a front draped along the mountains. Pretty much it's there because of the mountains, and some big storm messing up travel up in the Great Lakes area. Most of the nation's pretty good weather-wise, though, for the last big travel day, Thanksgiving Day. We have some precipitation starting in the northwest and western slopes of Colorado, with a cold front beginning to approach and a low-pressure system intensifying. For Friday, that low is pushing moisture back, and the real cold air arrives. We expect 47 as a high right now, dropping over the next 10 days to 44. 20 down to 18 is our low temperatures. And you can see we definitely are spiking warm on Friday. Put those Christmas decorations outside, even if you don't turn them on yet. Oh, no, it's after Thanksgiving. You can do that. And then it gets really cold for the weekend. We're down. We might have about a 24-hour period where we don't rise above freezing even. So, yeah, you're going to start to feel cold fronts now. At least that part of the pattern is beginning to change. Record high over these 10 days is 81 degrees on the 27th back in 2017, and a record low of negative 18 occurred on the 29th in 1877. So a really early record way back. And I'll have to look up and see what the absolute oldest Denver record is. So it'll be pretty cloudy and cold over the weekend. Just not a time to be outside doing much of anything, especially because we are not used to it right now. Middle of the week, more cloudiness. They have a 53% chance of about a 1/10 inch of liquid. That could give us an inch or so of snow. We'll see what the model says in a bit. And it's windy with that cold front and the air in behind it on Saturday. So Saturday, very cold, windy, cloudy. Stay inside. You can see the flow, The flow is starting to come out of the northwest, plunging Pacific moisture our way. You don't need surface moisture as much this time of year, just as long as the front can lift something in the mid-levels, you get clouds and precipitation. So there's our northwest flow, and we're seeing the first ripple coming down. into Colorado on Friday and Saturday. That brings the super cold front. This is another chance of snow, and it wasn't caught in that earlier graphic. I don't know why, different models. So this one actually could be a little bit better chance of snow as that passes. Ridge comes right back briefly, and then a big trough starts to dig in the western states. Some of it cuts off in Southern California. That'll give them more rain, and Arizona some more precipitation as well next weekend. So watch these cold fronts. Our source region is up here, and we'll see it coming down through Montana. It's just temperatures compared to normal for each location. So you don't have to know what the actual temperatures are, but there it is, not able to go over the Rockies. It's so cold and dense and thin till the very end there. Then the trough itself kind of cools the air column. And then that pushes off to the southeast. We warm up above normal for middle of the week when another cold front comes down and really brings in some cold temperatures and wind. The core of the super cold is way off to our east. We warm up pretty quickly because it is so shallow. And going into next weekend, we are warm. So, all right, we'll just watch the precipitatable water graphic for a few days here. You can see the low intensifies. You get a fetch of moisture from the Gulf pushing back into Colorado, then it's gone. Then we're getting Pacific moisture coming in, and a little bit of a grab of the Gulf moisture, and then it's out as well. Midweek, there's another blob of moisture from the west that might give us something that's at least worth watching. Dew points. This is surface moisture is not as important this time of year, but you can see it does get a pull from the ocean right up in here briefly. Then the super cold, super dry air, that's -10, -15 dew points. Dry. Okay, so let's watch these snow events coming into Friday to Saturday. Here comes the low. It starts with snow in Montana down to Wyoming, and then swings really briefly through Colorado. Then the next one comes in from the west, and that one actually does a little bit better, and that wasn't even in that earlier graphic. So, and we go out to Tuesday and the Wednesday. Mountains are getting some snow. Low intensifies east of the Rockies, and there's some snow in the Palmer Divide, Denver area maybe, and then it's gone. It's so brief. All right, so for the next 5 days, this is total precipitation, and that is about 0.2 of an inch of rain or moisture. If it comes in snow, then you multiply by 10 usually, unless it's really, really cold and dry snow. Then it might maybe multiply by 15. So that would be 2 inches of snow there, and then 4 inches up in the foothills right through there. And for snow, they have on the 0.8, let's see, get my colors here. 2 inches is this dark blue. So we're right on the border of 1 inch, 2 inch. This is different than the graphic I used to show. That showed the snow accumulation up. This is actual snow on the ground. So if the temperatures go up, it simulates melting it off. So it's a little harder to see what each storm does. But that's the difference. And up here in the purples, we've got higher elevations, that's a foot of snow. So yeah, some precipitation's coming in that gets both the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday hits in there. Over the next 10 days, this is total accumulated moisture, and it doesn't seem to change around here much. That, 0.4 now. Line is hit Longmont, and not too far away is the 0.6. But snow on the ground is less in the lower elevations because it warms up. So the snow is melted off, but the mountains have not warmed up. And so now we're up to 16 inches, 12 inches, 16 inches of snow in places. So we're going to finally start getting some snow back. It's good for skiing and good for our moisture. So yeah, and I don't have the percent here for Sunday, Monday either. Okay. We'll see what happens. So 48 Thursday, kind of chilly, quite abnormally warm on Friday ahead of the front. And then we plunge into the ice box for Saturday and Sunday with a good chance of snow. I'd probably keep this Sunday, Monday chance at about 50%, 40%. So don't believe the graphic. Here's our midweek chance, that third blob of snow coming through. For Thanksgiving, mostly cloudy, high 48, low of 26, northeast winds at 5 miles per hour, and very dry. For the December outlook, they finally don't have us in a heat wave. They have us about normal when December's all done. But for the 2 week out temperatures, they do have us unusually warm in that week. For moisture, maybe a little bit above average precipitation for the Northwest and about normal precipitation for December, which is better than having the center of the dry color over us. The week 2 outlook has it above normal moisture. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving. This has been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth, urging you to keep looking up.